Alright, what's up? We are live. It's Thursday per usual. And we're back in action. This week, what we're doing... Sorry, I'm messing around with this little thing. Okay, first of all, couple cool things. The track I just played, called Pulse, was released by me last week. And it is currently doing really well, which is awesome. I've been posting it places. I really need to get on kind of the more social media grind of things, like short form video and stuff, but it currently has 21 streams all time with a peak of 10 in one day, which is awesome. Places all over the country. Doesn't look like anywhere too crazy, but we got Phoenix, Riverside, California, I believe, Delaware, obviously a bunch in Washington, which is great. So thank you guys so much if you've listened to it, if you've checked it out. If you haven't, I'm going to throw a link in the chat here where you can find it. And you can find pretty much everything I do in this link here. Let's see if we can do this. Whoops. Okay, solo.to/skycap. Alright, if you go to that link, you can find my social medias. I usually post at the very top of it. It'll have links to the live stream for whenever I'm doing it. And then it has whatever songs most recently released. It has an embedded playlist of my most recent YouTube videos going in order from newest to oldest. And then other various things I have working on. So yeah. So that's a cool thing. I've got kind of a new setup, which is sick. I've been absolutely loving it. I got like a brand new mouse pad. I got this new mouse last week. This nice like Logitech G305 wireless mouse. Big fan. I want to shout out these guys real quick too. Delta Hub. This thing is like a palm rest for your mouse. You can also get it for your keyboard. But yeah, you just put it on your palm like this, and then when you're moving your mouse around, it just glides your hand with your mouse. And let me tell you, like, it's a game changer. Especially if you're a big video gamer like I am. I'm a keyboard and mouse guy for shooters, so like this thing, I've been dialed in with it, let me tell you. So that's been fun. I got some cool new headphones as well. I'm starting to think that I should do like an Amazon affiliate kind of thing. I have so much like stuff that I like that I think other people should have. And I really enjoy kind of, I'm a big tech guy too. I work in tech. So like I just like trying stuff out. I tend to be on kind of the cutting edge of like whatever's going on. So yeah, I'm considering that. And then obviously, I mean, nobody's in here yet, but we've got more music that I will be working on here very soon, which is great. But for now, what the heck is this? Is this that new Copilot button? I do not want that up on stream. All right. So, all the announcements out of the way. Today, we are working on what I am calling original music for Subnautica, kind of like a demo type thing. One of a longtime friend of the stream, Gamer J, has said that he could maybe pass some stuff off to the Subnautica team. I don't want to hold on to that super closely, not because I don't trust him, but mostly because I know the industry's weird, and I'm mostly doing this as an attempt to kind of grow my video game side of music making, because for those of you who don't know, that is a kind of a goal of mine this year, is to get into the gaming space with music. So I think this is a perfect opportunity. If he can pass it along, great. If he can't, then it's just it's just another track in the demo reel, which is awesome. So I'm really hoping to do something like very water related. I'm gonna switch. Oh, I'm still on the screen. That's cool. Let me pull up a picture here. Let's go. The thing is, I don't know what the rumors are. So if you weren't in here or you don't know, there is a Subnautica 2, Subnautica 3, I guess. I think they're calling it 2. So the basic premise of Subnautica is you're an astronaut and you crash land on this water planet, which is great. It's a very fun game. I've played it on stream a couple times. If you go back in the YouTube archive, you'll see some of the gameplay. Super cool, super cool, super cool. Big fan of it. They released a DLC called Below Zero, which I have not played, but I'm assuming it's very like ice themed. You know, you get kind of that Arctic vibe. But they're coming out with a second one is kind of the rumor. I guess Below Zero is like half DLC, half like its own game. It's technically its own game, but I guess it's going to be on a different planet, which is why they're calling it Subnautica 2, or that's kind of the working title so far. I'm very... Okay, so, sorry. I'm trying to figure out... There's obviously going to be like a very specific direction that the game goes in terms of like style. So I'm trying to figure out kind of what direction I want to take with the music, because depending on what the style is for the game in terms of like, you know, you've got like tropical water, you've got temperate water, you've got, you know, I mean, Subnautica 2, I know it's very water-based, but it could be kind of like a mix, you know? You could end up in like a swamp or something. So trying to really dial in and make something that's not too thematic maybe, but like... Let's do this. This is a really cool picture. Why? Sorry, guys. I will switch... I'll switch the camera over here in a second. Okay. Okay, this is what we're gonna use. This is just fan art that I found from PC Games N. Actually, can I download this? I'm gonna save this. Sorry, I promise in like 2 seconds I will be back onto where you guys can all see what I'm doing. This PC, local disk. Sure, I'm just gonna save it there. That's fine, okay. Save. Okay, now I should be able to jump in here. Let's go Z game editor. Image effects, image, add content, add pictures. Pictures? This one. Whoops. Okay. Bringing you guys along for the ride now. So, let's go wallpaper. Oh, nope, that's not what we want. Attached. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna use. Hey, what's up, Kamea? Yep, this is what we're gonna use to kind of guide our song here. So I'm gonna pause my own music here, and we're gonna go back into this. So, actually, let's attach it, because then, oh gosh, come on. Okay. So this is a fan art we've got going on. we're gonna use this as inspiration for our Subnautica track. So what I'm gonna do here, and you guys probably seen me do this before, we're gonna add a bunch of time markers. So we're gonna go like chill intro. So this is gonna be kind of our like low stakes introduction, and I want that to be 16 bars. And then let's go, we want a couple different things. We want, let's go added interest. And then we want, let's go add marker. Let's go danger. And then let's add, I'm trying to think. So when we play the game, you're swimming around, right? And you've got, this kind of ambient music playing in the background. And then sometimes it kind of jumps up. And then sometimes, like, if there's danger and stuff, like, obviously it'll change. But I don't know that there's really much else to add into it. I guess we could add, like, a second. Let's go, like, second. Let's just go second melody. So then we'll go. $16, and 16. Okay, so realistically, I don't actually think that these will end up being 16 bars. I think they'll end up being quite a bit longer. And the idea with this is going to largely be, it's going to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you want there to be very distinct elements. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? Welcome in. Yeah, so I'm working on the Subnautica track. I'm using this image as kind of a reference. It's just fan art. They're apparently coming out with a second game at some point, so I'm kind of like pretending like if I was writing music for it, this is what I would do. So, yeah, so let's start with something that's like real chill. Oh no, you're good, man. Real chill, real like ambient. You know, you want that like water. I don't know if you guys like play a lot of video games with water in them, but oftentimes you kind of get this like really like. I think this could be good for later. You get that kind of like in the background, like there's like a specific kind of sound, and we're gonna have to figure out how to make that happen. I think we're gonna have to dive into some of the stock FL plugins here, because they have that kind of. I love the retro, like the N64 style. Like that's kind of watery. I don't love the. Okay, let's try this. Now the real trick here is gonna be like making it bright enough. I'm just gonna keep this in C major, I think. Oh, I kind of like that. Like, let's do this. Tools, strum. That's what we want. Let's just. Come on. Strum. I wish I could play it while the strum is in effect. What the heck? Come on. There we go. Okay. Tools. Strum. Yep, let's try that. Yeah, seriously. Yes, that's exactly it. That's what we're looking for. So the thing with that, from what I understand, and I haven't talked to too many people about this, but been doing my research. Video game music is very, very much broken up into this idea of like you want very easily recognizable individual layers, because the way that you are going to like conduct the song is you're going to have all of these individual elements that can be triggered at random times and kind of put into like random patterns, so that hopefully you can generate like long periods of music that if the player is just standing in one spot and nothing changes, the music will be relatively interesting for a significant amount of time without repeating. So the idea here, and the reason why I broke it out this way, is we'll have this 16 bar loop will kind of be our main whatever, our main instrument. So we'll have this pad, we'll probably have a like little arpeggio melody, maybe we have some drums and stuff. But then in the actual mix of the game, what would happen is those things wouldn't necessarily be triggered at the same time, if that makes sense. So like maybe you would just start out with a pad for like 30 seconds, and then maybe you'd add in the arpeggio, and then maybe you'd fade out the arpeggio and add in drums, and then maybe you'd add in like a bass line, and then maybe you'd fade out the pads and add in the arpeggio again with the bass line and the drums, and then maybe you'd fade out the drums and then fade the pad back in. I mean, you do that a couple times, in a random enough way that's not like chaotic, and you can get 30 minutes of music out of it, which is great because that's what you want. But then you add in this, kind of secondary thing here, right? So it's like, okay, even more music you can pull from. And then you start to add in the interactivity here. So like you've got an interest thing. So like, let's say our guy here, let's call him Craig. We've got a long-standing kind of joke in our community that there's a astronaut named Craig. So let's say Craig here is exploring, right? And he finds this weird lizard creature. Maybe that's when you want to add in this interest. So we have, maybe the melody gets a little more complex, or maybe you add in like some strings or something, something that wasn't in the first two, just to heighten kind of the atmosphere and the mood. And then let's say like you find this cool little alien thing, and then all of a sudden he starts trying to attack you. Well, now you can shift the music into kind of this danger mode. So with these 4 things right here, even though they're only going to be like 16 bar loops when we're done with them, like in theory, if somebody was just exploring an area, they could explore it for hours without ever running into the same music. Kind of the hope. Obviously, I've never done this before, so I don't know that it will work entirely like that. Okay, so what do we got here? Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm just going to do this. Cyborg, I'm so sorry. I don't really know your name in IRL. You use FL Studio, yeah? Hey, what's up, Devin? We've got some nice atmospheres going here. That's right. I'm so sorry, dude. Oh, yeah. You use both. So this is familiar for you. All right. For those of you who don't know, I met Cass through Threads. Threads is awesome, by the way. Shout out to Threads. I know I think I've seen Kamea jump on and interact in there a little bit. I don't know if Devin does or not. But yeah, Cass is great. He lives not too far away from me, apparently. Although we haven't confirmed that in real life yet, but maybe at some point. But he makes like he makes a lot heavier electronic music than I do, kind of mix of dubstep and other things. But he also does. I think I posted one of your things on my story a couple weeks ago. But he does his own like CGI animation type work, which is really cool. Okay, so we got our guy. He's swimming around here. We've got this very nice ambient pad. Okay, I want to mess with this a little bit. It's just a little bit. I get very easily annoyed by sounds, and that's gonna sound kind of weird because I literally listen to like weird sounds all the time. But this gets very annoying, which is what you don't want for an extended period of time. We're gonna throw on a thermal here. Get some distortion going on it. That's pretty wild. Okay, let's add in. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I don't know that I've done this before, so I don't know that it'll work. We're gonna use my favorite, auto chroma. But I'm gonna route it to a send track, so like it'll still be playing the original, but it'll run through auto chroma. And let's get something weird going on here. Gosh, I love this. I love this VST. It's so good. Okay, and then we're gonna throw a vintage verb on this too. I wonder if I can turn the... I don't think that's... Is there a... Oh, so there we go. Okay, let's try a couple other things here. Oh, that could be cool. I mean, it's a little much, but... This one's called Underwater Birds, so that could be fitting. I think I'm gonna go back to this, this one. And I'm gonna turn the gain up on it quite a bit. And then I'm gonna add some delay, and I'll probably like add some distortion to it too. To really just like kind of destroy the sound a little bit while still keeping it pretty fun and interesting. Well, that's good. Let's throw in a EQ and just kind of pass. Take out some of that low end there. I wonder, can I punch this up? Pitch 12, 0, 7. Let's go 12. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Like great background music. Okay, so now that we've got this, which again, like I said, the idea of this really is just to be able to sit and listen to this for hours if you need to. Okay, so we're gonna add in, let's get like a fun little plucky sound. I've got this bizarre thing, I think I've showed it on stream before. It's called Carp. It's literally just 2 knobs. And so let's just make like a fun little and I'm actually gonna like and then let's copy this, and we'll go like this. Oops. Okay. Okay, and now I'm gonna pop these guys up here, but let's kind of mess with this. So we've got a decay and a dampening knob. So if we put this all the way up, that's kind of fun. There you go. Okay, let's like throw that. Alright, and then let's throw this on. We'll just call it on a pluck here. 49. I'm gonna be honest, I always get very self-conscious when I'm producing in front of other people who know what they're doing, because I feel like the way that I produce is like wildly inefficient. So there's that. Oh my gosh. I hope not. We had somebody, I don't know if you guys remember, it was like quite a few years ago now, but we had somebody else jump in for a stream or two. Who was a producer, and I was like, oh shoot, they're gonna just like roast me. Yeah, I get bored sometimes, and there was one time I was like meeting up with somebody who is also a music producer in the area, and I was waiting for him to get to this coffee shop, and I was like, I'm bored and I don't have a template, so I just built a template out. And I've changed it a little bit over the years, but I really just like having things organized. Like, it really helps me to, because I was doing this kind of anyways, I just didn't have a template for it. But the nice thing is if I drag samples in here, it just auto assigns it to like an effects rack, which is great. But then that way I'm not just like assigning stuff to whatever the next free one is. I can actually know like where it's at, or supposed to be anyways. But I end up changing stuff up a bit. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Now we'll see what it sounds like. Yeah, it was a little weird. Okay, so I'm gonna take this out just because I don't love it. And then it'll loop there. So let's take this out. We'll do a new pattern. Call this like pluck carp. Okay, and we're on 49. And let's add a bunch of weird stuff to this one too, just because I like to make my sounds weird. Cause why not? You know, it's way more fun to make stuff weird. Okay, we've got a vintage verb. Let's get like a, I don't know that KHS delay will do what I want it to, but I want this to be like a super crazy delay. There we go. That's really fun. What else we got here? Yeah. Let's just do that for now. I don't know if you guys are using headphones or not. Probably would be beneficial. At least for this stream, just because it's like a lot of weird detail work is going into this. Okay, so we got pluck here. Oh, the weirder the better. All right, let's go back to our picture of fake Craig here. All right, here's what we got. And this is literally, I mean, it's not much, but you know, when you're playing a game, like, actually, let's do this too. I'm gonna flip to this for a second here. we're gonna pull up. Well, good, because that's what I'm going for. Let's do this. I apologize if it's like super loud here in a second. I'm gonna mute that. I'm on my like not signed in here. Sorry, there's an ad. I'm pulling up a live stream of Subnautica so I can play my music on top of the live stream. Not like an actual live stream, just like a playthrough. So we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna have this playing. I don't need AT&T or whatever. Okay, let's get to a point where he's underwater. Okay. So like here is where the music could peak because of like something of interest in there, which I think could be really cool. But see, like, my personal opinion, I mean, this is very, very simple musically, but it works so well. And like you add in little elements here and there, and then you can like duck things down and weave them around and stuff. We should have a, I'm gonna add one more, I think. So let's add 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is gonna be like above the water. And funny enough, I think for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact opposite of what most games do when you go underwater. Where like usually you go underwater and you like low pass the music and everything sounds like a little muddy and like kind of like almost like jarring, like you get kind of shocked into it. I think it'd be really fun to do that with this, where you take like some of this stuff and then you just like low pass it. Because it would almost be like how a fish would experience the world, right? Where it's like when you're underwater, everything's like big and bold and crisp and like perfect sounding. And then you go out of the water and you're like, oh man, like I can't hear as well. Like what's going on? Like whatever. And then you dive back down and it's like, oh yeah, there's the music. It's like, I don't know. Funny little things. Like this is what gets me excited about the prospect of doing this as a potential living at some point, is like just coming up with these weird scenarios where it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of a bizarre idea, but it could enhance the gameplay experience and stuff quite a bit. So, all right, so let's see. Let's add in some drums. Let's see what we got here for like percussion. This is all gonna be water drops, isn't it? Let's do, I want drums, really. I'm going to reference, like, the greatest underwater. What the heck? The greatest underwater song of like all time for a video game. Let's do this one. This song is so good. And I'm curious what other instruments they have in here. If I'm not mistaken, this is from Donkey... Oh yeah, there it is. Donkey Kong Country. On the N64. N64, I think? Maybe earlier. Okay, that's just like a... Actually, this one says it's from the game, so... Yeah, that's also our remix. Those bells are so cool. I get, like, I never even played this game, and I get chills when I hear this. Like, it's so nostalgic sounding. Which I'm a sucker for. Those strings too? Oh man. I need to buy like a good like string VST. Gosh, that's incredible. Okay, I like the string vibe. I don't know if that's the original or not, but yeah, it's a very popular song. Like it's gotten obviously like a lot of traction because of how good it is. There is a video. Actually, let me try and pull it up just because it's like one of my favorite things ever. Aquatic ambience, and I think it was oh man, what is it called? There's a channel on YouTube. It might be this Nerd Rider one. I think it is. Here, I'll throw it in the chat for you guys. This video, if you're interested at all in like how music is made, especially in an era where like you see what I'm doing, right? On like a day-to-day. Like I have this whole thing here, right? Like this is like I can do anything. I legitimately can like record anything. I can synthesize anything. Like the world is my oyster when it comes to music. When it comes to music for the N64, like they had some serious oh wait, it was the Super Nintendo. That's right. Cuz that made it even harder. They had some serious limitations in how they could do music because there was only so much room on the cartridges even for the game. And so they were given like for example, aquatic ambience. It was like you can only have 3 instruments playing at any given time. So they're doing all these crazy things where it's like you listen back to that music and you're like, okay, when a drum hit happens, you can only have 2 other instruments at most. So like oftentimes you're going to have these like off hits for drums so that you're not taking up 2 instrument channels. And then like you're only going to have like 2 other instruments layered on top of that. This is like crazy stuff. So I'm super blessed to not have to do that. But I think it lended itself well to like coming up with interesting like just creative expression, which is cool. So let's see. Let's go underwater, and I'm gonna just search for drums. See what comes up. That sounds so sick. I don't think that'll work at all here, but actually I do want to see what they have for like synthesizers. Like other. Okay, for example, let's try this. Let's just drag this in here. I have a thought that I could just like mangle the heck out of this, and it could be really cool. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a big believer in the like creative limitations tend to be like a better thing than a worse thing. Okay, now let's just like, is this on synth 3? Okay. Yeah, I just think limitations like they do so much for you when you're not thinking about it, which is part of the reason why like people like things like remix contests and they do really well at like, you know, there's just so many creative challenges out there literally just because that's how we work well with stuff. Which is interesting. Okay, so I apologize. That's way louder than everything else. Okay, let's shrink this back down so it's not like... Wow. Okay. change this. It does kind of sound like a cicada, doesn't it? Okay, let's trim off some of that. I think this is where like kind of the underwater vibe can really work in our favor, because we can kind of like I don't know if you guys have ever been diving. I think this is the other, it's a complete tangent. I think this is the other cool aspect about making video game music as opposed to just like what I've been doing for my entire life, which is just electronic music. When I make electronic music, there's two scenarios in which I will ever really consider thinking about my music. Maybe, let's say three, especially for the Skycap project. There is somebody sitting listening at home, whether it's through headphones or speakers or you're driving a car, whatever, like just the general user listening experience. The second one, which I would say is kind of exclusive to Skycap because of the way that I've approached it, is like inside of a scenario in which I think the song fits. So like I'll usually come up with an idea like, hey, what do I want a song to sound like if I was sitting in a park and it's 9 a.m. and it's like 68 degrees out and there's like a slight breeze and I can see the light shining through the trees. Like, what would that sound like musically, right? So that's the second scenario. The third scenario is like if I was ever to play this out at a live show or like a club or whatever, right? So those are kind of the three scenarios. The cool thing with music and video games is you draw from life scenarios and you can say, what does this sound like in real life? Or like, where have I experienced these sounds or this music or whatever in a context where I can then recontextualize like the video game experience. So, for example, your cicada comment I think is really on the nose here, but if you've ever been scuba diving or like even snorkeling, like if you put your ear in the ocean and you're in like Hawaii or something, you can hear the fish like eating the coral and stuff, and there's that like weird little crackling thing, and I think this kind of gives that vibe. And I think if we throw like a transient shaper on it and try and pull out, like you don't want it super like loud and high pitched like the cicada that you're talking about, but I think if we're able to like pull out just a little bit of it. I think that kind of stuff is so cool. Oh, that's fair. I borderline did as well, but I was also snorkeling in Hawaii, and there were like sea urchins everywhere, and I was very convinced that I was gonna die if I even touched one. So okay, this does not fit at all, unfortunately, but I think the crackle idea is a great one. So let's go with this. Actually, let's try something a little more underwater. Man, it's already 5:50. What the heck happened to time? You guys make these streams go by so fast. Like, I have such a blast in here. It's a problem. There was it this one? Yeah, we're gonna grab this. And we're gonna throw it in here. And we're just gonna call it like atmosphere. And let's actually like extend it out a little bit. And then I want to grab like from here to like here. So we'll do this. Oh shoot, yeah, that's no fun. Alright, let's see. Where's transit shaper? Okay, so I really just want like maximum attack. Okay, and then I'll throw my own kind of reverb on this. I think a supermassive would be good here. Reverb, large. Let's do this and see what happens. Oh. Actually, let's do this. I want to speed this up a bit. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, cool. We're going to stick with that and just see what happens here. Alright, let me check. I think I might call it here with the stream. I do have some additional music work that needs to be done. Oh, yo, Cass, thank you for shouting out the Twitch stream. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah. My struggle with textures oftentimes is like getting them to sit well without being like way too up front. But we'll see. Hey man, I appreciate all of it. I mean, my approach to my entire music career, well, I shouldn't say that. My approach to my music career in the last like 5 years has been much more of the like I want to build a like small dedicated community of people that I can enjoy making music with and releasing stuff for. So like I'm going to be honest, in some ways my biggest fear is having something go viral, because I think it would take away from the authenticity of like the small community that I've built. I have like, I'd say what, like 10 or 15 people that tend to interact with me on a somewhat regular basis whenever I put something out, which is just fantastic. And I'm fairly certain that most of them aren't even electronic music fans. I don't even know that they very much care for my music, just generally. Like, I don't think it's something that they would necessarily choose to listen if it wasn't me that was putting it out. But I would hate for something to like blow up and then have like a bunch of people jump in and just be like, kind of ruin that vibe, if that makes sense. So I would much rather like steadily build like people who are interested in what I'm doing and enjoy kind of the community and the vibe and stuff. So with that being said, I very much appreciate it. Obviously, you know, if I have a bunch more people in here, it's not going to be the end of the world. So good stuff can come out of that too. But all right, we obviously, I mean, I took an hour to build some 2 chords and a pluck, but I think we've made good progress so far. I'm a little sad Jay isn't in here. I'm a little surprised, but so here we'll throw this picture up. I think it fits. I think it fits the vibe. I said this maybe before any of you guys were in here, but I was kind of going for something a little more neutral water. Obviously, the next Subnautica game could go like in a tropical direction, or it could go like for, you know, in like a swamp direction, or who knows what, right? There's all sorts of different things that you could do. So if I'm making music for a hypothetical game that I don't exactly know the direction, but I do know that it's water themed, then, like, you know, this is a good start. So yeah, he's my number one fan. He's a huge Subnautica fan. He's the reason why I'm doing this stream. So hopefully he gets to watch it back. I have had some I don't want to say technical issues, but some user error with the YouTube stream. So I have had that fixed though. So yes, no, 100%. I don't want that to come across as like I don't think you guys like my music. I more so mean that I appreciate each and every one of you for like the role that you play in the community of like friends and cool people that we've brought together in here. So I used to care a lot more if people liked my music for my music, and I care a lot less now, is kind of what I'm saying. I just appreciate genuinely cool people that like to have the same like attitude towards life, maybe, and I'm glad that my music is kind of a means of bringing people together in that way. So that's all I'm trying to say with that, but I very much appreciate what you're saying, Devin. I hear you. All right, so I'm gonna call it there. I usually end the streams right around 6, so we made some decent progress. Like I said, nothing too crazy, but next time we can come back and we can work on kind of that second scenario, add some more stuff into it, take it in a slightly different direction. But Cass, thank you for jumping in here. It's fun to have you. Devin and Kamea, always a pleasure. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Have a great night.